A CLEP exam is an exam that a student can take to earn college credit by demonstrating knowledge that they already have. CLEP is the college level examination program. More than 2,900 institutions grant credit for CLEP exams. Before you register for a CLEP exam, go online and check that your institution does grant credit for a CLEP exam. Also, take a look at the content outlines for the exams and some of the sample questions to make yourself familiar with what content you'll see on test day. One of the great things about CLEP is that all kinds of students can participate and do participate. So there are current high school students, current college students, adult learners, military service members, and a whole variety of people at all stages in their educational careers. I think the Modern States courses offer students a great opportunity to refresh on content they may have learned in the past, or to learn content for the first time, and the courses are free. Individual colleges and universities grant credit for successful CLEP scores. You can register for a CLEP exam online at clep.collegeboard.org, and after you register for the exam, you will need to schedule a testing appointment with a CLEP test center. No, you will need to take the CLEP exam at the end of the course in order to earn credit. Yep, there are 33 CLEP exams, and they cover a wide variety of subjects. For example, there are classic academic areas such as biology or algebra or English literature, and there are also some other business courses, for example, business exams such as financial accounting, business law, marketing, management. Some of the most popular exams are Spanish, Analyzing and Interpreting Literature, College Composition, College Algebra. You can take a CLEP exam at any point in your college career, and so many students do use it to earn the last few credits towards their degree. Absolutely, the Department of Defense funds CLEP testing for all active duty service members as well as some spouses and civilian employees. You can go online to the CLEP website at clep.collegeboard.org and look up your institution's credit policy, or you can go directly to the college website and see their credit policy there. Absolutely. Just Google CLEP and the name of your college or university. Yep, and you'll probably find the whole list of different subject areas on one page. You should visit the CLEP website at clep.collegeboard.org. In recent years, we've seen CLEP expand into earlier parts of students' careers, so many students now are taking CLEP even before they're in college. My name is Emily Paulsen, and I am the Executive Director of the CLEP program, that is the College Level Examination Program here at the College Board. Actually, the CLEP exam has been around for 50 years. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of the CLEP program. This fall, the Air Force will also be funding CLEP testing for its civilian employees. Many military bases offer CLEP testing right on the base. And even if there's not a test center on your military base, you can still take the exam off-site at another college testing center or another testing center in your area. And there are testing centers available both internationally and in the US. My favorite thing about CLEP is the wide variety of students that we're able to reach and who we're able to help earn a college degree. My name is Emily Paulsen, and I've been here at the College Board for about 10 years now. I've worked on several of our programs that the College Board offers, like SAT, PSAT, some other things that people are often more familiar with. But I've been working with CLEP, with the College Level Examination Program, for about 2 years now. And I think it's a really exciting program that the College Board has to offer, but it's one of the lesser known programs right now. I'm from upstate New York, Western New York, we like to say. I grew up in a small town, and I went to school in upstate New York as well at Ithaca College. And as you mentioned, I've sort of been in education ever since. I also worked at Paulsen before I was here, so lots of different education from different angles. I did not, and one thing we often hear that I would say the same is that I wish I had known. So we hear that from a lot of folks who have left college or just learning about CLEP as adults.
What is it you wish you had known?
I wish that I knew of the opportunity. So there were honors courses or things like that I took in my high school where we didn't have AP courses at the time, and so there were things though that I got to a pretty deep knowledge of in high school that I probably could have demonstrated my knowledge of on a CLEP exam, but I never knew the opportunity existed. And so that's a common theme that we hear. So we're trying to get the word out and inform more students about it early on as they're entering college, or even earlier in high school, so they know that this opportunity is there. So we do a lot of the usual marketing type of activities that you might expect with online advertising and things of that nature, but we rely a lot on advisors and people who talk with students. So it could be high school counselors, college advisors, educational service officers in the military. So lots of people who are advising students about their college path and about their degree programs. So that's a very important part of how we get the word out. Yeah, the College Board is a membership organization. It's made up of both K-12 and higher ed institutions. It's a not-for-profit, and its mission is to connect students to college opportunity and success. So CLEP is a credit by exam program, and CLEP exams help students get college credit for things they already know for a fraction of the cost of a full college course. And so the big idea is that students can take a CLEP exam to demonstrate that they have mastery in a particular subject area, and then they can earn credit for a successful score on those exams. There are about 2,900 different colleges and universities that grant credit for CLEP exams. And their policies vary a little bit, but each of them does offer credit for some combination of CLEP exams. Most colleges follow the credit recommendations from the American Council on Education, or ACE, which recommends granting students credit for a score of 50 or higher on a CLEP exam. However, there are some institutions that also set their own policies, so we always advise students to check with their institution about which exams they can get credit for and how much credit they'll get. Most CLEP exams are about 90 minutes. And most of them are multiple choice. There are some that have optional essays where the college can determine if you need to take the essay or not. And there's one exam that has a required essay, that's college composition. All of them are computer-based, so you go to a testing center and take the exam on a computer. And you get your score and your results instantly when you finish the exam, with the one exception being the college composition exam. So the essays are scored by English faculty, so they get sent out to be read and scored by English faculty, and then you'll get your scores a few weeks later for that exam. So both AP and CLEP do provide opportunities to earn credit to earn college credit. The subjects that they cover, some of them are similar, but there are also certain subjects that are only offered by AP or only offered by CLEP. For example, CLEP offers 5 different business exams in areas like marketing, management, financial accounting, and AP does not offer business exams. So there are some subject area differences between the two programs. The other big difference is that AP also includes a full curriculum program, and it's typically that students take an AP course in high school and then take the AP exam in high school when they finish the course. CLEP, however, is a computer-based program, as I mentioned, and students can take it at any testing center. And those are typically on a college campus or on a military base. And students can participate in high school, but actually many people taking CLEP exams are college students or adults returning to college, service members, so really anyone can participate. So while there are high school students participating, the variety of people who take CLEP exams is also much broader. Yeah, there are about 1,800 CLEP centers across the country currently, and students can take their CLEP exam at any one of them. They're searchable on the CLEP website, which is clep.collegeboard.org. And you can go in and find the closest test center to where you are. There may be one on your college campus or on your military base. If not, you can test at any of the other available testing centers. And so how it typically works is you'll register for a CLEP exam online through the CLEP website, and then you'll contact the institution or the test center where you would like to take the exam and schedule an appointment. Currently, the cost of a CLEP exam is $80, so when you register online, you will have to pay the $80 fee, And the registration ticket you'll get when you register is valid for 6 months, so you don't necessarily need to go test that day. You'll have 6 months to use your registration ticket. And then test centers often will also charge a fee of their own for administering the exam. It's typically around $20 or $25. Not all test centers charge a fee, but many do. I think that this initiative is a great opportunity for students. These are courses, full courses as you mentioned, not just test prep of some kind. And they're taught by professors, and they're completely free to students to participate. And at the College Board, we think that's very important, that students have an opportunity to engage in high-quality learning for free, and then also they can take what they've learned and apply it towards an opportunity to earn college credit. So I think this is a great opportunity for students to either get a refresher on content that they may have learned in the past. We've actually had the majority of our test takers say that they've learned the content, or at least part of the content, in high school, but often they're an adult or later in life when they're taking an exam, so they'd like a refresher, and I think the courses offer a great opportunity for that type of learning, but also for students who want to learn independently from scratch and are willing to put in the work and the effort to learn it on their own. It's a great opportunity for those students at any stage in their educational career, too. I think that's very important. It really opens up the opportunity to anyone who's willing to engage in the course, to listen, to learn. They can go back and review and hear the content again. It really opens up the opportunity to anyone who's willing to participate, like I said. So I think that's a very important opportunity for all types of learners, but especially a lot of the people participating in CLEP and taking CLEP exams are typically trying to save money towards their degree and are working on a tight budget. They might be working part-time and going to school part-time. And I think the opportunity to learn this content for free is very important. Yeah, that's important as well, and it really fits with the guiding philosophy of CLEP. So CLEP exams are available 24/7. You do need to schedule an appointment with a test center to take one, but they are available year-round, anytime, and the flexibility is an important part of the program. So students can learn the content on their own schedules. It can fit into your busy life, whether you're a current college student, like I said, or you're a working adult thinking about going back to college. You can take these courses whenever you have time. It could be in the evenings, or it could be on your lunch break. Whenever it fits with your schedule, it's available to you to take. So I think that's an important part of it as well. Yeah, so it's actually the individual colleges and universities that grant the credit. So you would take your CLEP exam. If you earn a qualifying score, then the college grants you credit towards your degree. So the College Board does not offer the credit, does not give you the credit. It will come directly from the institution where you're enrolled. And as we mentioned before, there are about 2,900 different institutions, different colleges that give credit for CLEP exams. Yeah, absolutely. The CLEP website has many credit policies published there, so colleges and universities will submit their policies to us and we will put them on the CLEP website. But we typically recommend that you also look at the college or university's CLEP credit policy. Many keep the most up-to-date version published on their own websites, and sometimes they also have some additional information along with it. For example, there may be a limit to how many credits you can earn with a CLEP exam, and colleges will typically put that type of additional information on their own websites. No, you do need to take the CLEP exam at the end of the course. So you will learn the knowledge that you need. You will learn the content through the course. But to demonstrate to us that you have, in fact, mastered this content, you do still need to take the CLEP exam. And if you earn a qualifying score, that's when the college will grant credit for the exam. Yeah, absolutely. We have seen a push towards more students trying to earn credit before they enter college. So either later in their high school careers or right before they're enrolling in college. And as college costs increase, there seemed to be a growing interest in finding ways to reduce those costs. And one way to do that is to demonstrate prior learning or prior learning knowledge through an exam like CLEP. So students who, as I mentioned, aren't in high school or didn't have an opportunity to take an AP course in high school, CLEP provides an opportunity for them to demonstrate what they've already learned and save some money. Yeah, so there are 33 total CLEP exams. They're offered in a wide range of subjects that are offered typically as first-year college courses. So these exams cover areas such as math and science, composition and literature, world languages, as we mentioned, the business exams, and also history and social sciences. History, psychology, we have 3 foreign languages, Spanish, French, and German. And a wide range of other courses. So they may be things that you've learned in high school or learned in a prior course. They may be things that you've learned on the job, such as financial accounting or information systems. They may be things that you've learned at home, like speaking Spanish. But there may be things that you wouldn't just learn in your normal course of your job or your home life. Things like calculus or algebra that really require more of a course background to learn the content. CLEP has a long-standing partnership with the Department of Defense, and the Department of Defense actually funds CLEP exams for all active duty service members. So at any point in their active duty, members of all branches can participate in CLEP exams for free. So the first attempt at each subject is at no cost to the service member. And there actually are some branches that also fund testing for civilian personnel and spouses. And actually this fall, the Air Force will start funding CLEP exams for civilian employees in addition to the active duty service members that are already covered. I think one of the things about the CLEP program that's been a little bit challenging for us in the past is that it can be intimidating if you're not sure if you know the content or if you're not confident that you already have the knowledge. So I think the opportunity here is for students to have a chance to learn or to refresh their knowledge. And I think that will make students more comfortable with taking the exam and more confident that they actually have the content knowledge that they'll need to succeed. So I think that will change students' decision to take an exam and help more students feel confident in actually taking a chance and going and taking an exam. I would say it's different. So even in the subject areas that overlap somewhat, there are differences in terms of the specific content that is covered. So we always advise students to make sure they take a look at the content outlines for each of the exams and they try some of the practice questions so they know the specific kind of questions that will be asked by each of the exams. There are pros and cons to both, certainly, and so students who are in high school, we always advise that you take an AP course if it's available. There's benefits to AP sort of beyond the exam. There's the actual course experience, and there's the admissions benefit. A lot of times students will put their AP credits on their transcripts, and so that they're considered by the admissions office. So there's a different nature to the AP program just because the courses and exams are delivered in high school and students take them earlier. And then on the CLEP side, the benefit is sort of the flexibility and the fact that students can take the exams anytime. They can learn on their own and go take the exam as soon as they're finished with something like a modern states course. So there are pros and cons to both, and then the content of the exams themselves differs a little bit. So depending on which you're planning to take, we always just advise that you go and try some of the practice questions so you get a sense for what will be on the test. No, you don't need to have a course in your high school. You can absolutely take one of the online courses to learn the AP content as well. If your high school offers the exam, or your high school can offer the exam, so I would recommend talking to your high school first if you do want to take an AP exam. If they will not be administering it or if they don't have the capability or the staffing to administer it, you can also take an exam at another school. And so in that scenario, you would just need to contact the other school where you would like to take an exam to make the arrangements directly through the school. Yeah, so when people ask me what I do, I tell them about the College Board and the things that they probably are most familiar with, like the SAT or the AP program. But then I tell them about CLEP, which is the program I work with, and I talk about how it gives all kinds of students an opportunity to start a college degree, to continue a college degree or to finish a college degree. And I think what's so great about it and what makes me really excited about working with CLEP is that it really is an equalizer, and it's an opportunity for all students, regardless of what point of their educational career they are at. And I think it's a great first step also for people who are not sure if they want to go back to college or if they want to pursue a college degree or if it's right for them. It's a good first step to earn the confidence or to gain the confidence and to succeed and to start off with a few credits before you even enroll. No, failing an exam can't hurt you. Earning a qualifying score will obviously earn you college credit, but it really doesn't hurt to try. So it's sort of a low-risk endeavor, I like to say. It's worth trying. It's up to you where you would like to send your score, or if you would like to send your score anywhere at all. So when you register for a CLEP exam, you'll have an opportunity to select a college or university to receive your score.
Is that before I know whether I'm going to pass it?
Yep, so when you're registering, and I would highly recommend that you do select your college to receive your score, because even if you don't earn a qualifying score to earn credit, the college isn't going to do anything else with that score. So there's really no risk to sending it. But if you're not comfortable sending the score before you take the exam, you can also opt to send it afterwards at any point later in your life. And we actually keep CLEP scores on file for 20 years. So
20
even
years?
if you've taken a CLEP exam
Wow.
20 years ago, you can still go back and send your score to a college. Yeah, one thing that's very encouraging, I think, is that we've seen more students taking CLEP exams before they're in college. So you can take an exam at any point in your career, and many students do take them sort of at the end of their college career when they need to finish up those last few credits. But what we've seen a little bit of a shift in is students taking exams earlier, so even before they're enrolling in college. And I think that's a positive trend, because it shows that students are thinking about it a little bit more proactively, and they're planning ahead to earn the credits that they'll need to fulfill degree requirements ahead of time. So rather than reactively trying to catch up and fulfill credits, I think students are thinking about it a little bit more deliberately, planning ahead, and thinking about the opportunity to earn credits even before they're starting their coursework. Yeah, so we are constantly trying to recruit additional colleges and universities to grant credit for CLEP exams or to expand the number of exams for which they offer credit. So through our efforts, we are continuously trying to encourage more institutions to grant credit. And some of those institutions, as I mentioned, publish their policies on our website, but some don't. They're only on their institution's website. So we do always recommend that you go and see what those policies are there. And sometimes institutions will change their policy along the way as well, as their faculty reevaluate and consider granting additional credit, for example, or changing their policy a little bit. So we always recommend that even if you've looked in the past, that you go back and check their most recent policy, because there are some changes from time to time. Yep, we are always trying to encourage more institutions to sign on and start granting credit for CLEP. And we tend to focus a lot of our efforts on some of the largest institutions and the public university systems and those types of institutions that reach the most students, because our concern is always, of course, trying to help as many students as possible. And historically, we focused a lot on the types of institutions that serve a lot of the students who participate in our program. So, for example, because there are so many service members participating in CLEP, and that's always an audience we're trying to work with, that we often try to work with the institutions that are also recruiting those students. So that's where a lot of the focus has been. And so as we continue to diversify the students who are participating and expand, we'll also be working with more and more colleges too. Yeah, so the most important question to ask first is which exams your institution will give credit for and which you'll need for your degree. So, for example, a lot of students will try to fulfill a particular general education requirement or a particular requirement for their major, or they want to get out of an entry-level course because they already know that information and want to move on to more challenging coursework. So which exam you take depends on a lot of factors, the most important being that it's one that your institution will grant you credit for. But other factors to consider are subjects that you've done well in the past. So students often have particular subject areas that they feel they're stronger in. And I would always recommend starting with those because you already know something, and so it's more of an activity to refresh your content knowledge rather than starting from scratch. So first look at what exams your college gives credit for, then think about which areas you're strongest in, and then try some of the practice questions to see which you feel most comfortable with. There are not any new subjects in development right now, so the 33 exams that we have are we will continue to offer in the future. We have considered adding some additional exams, and so what we typically do is research what types of areas colleges offer entry-level coursework in. So we will be continuously evaluating what types of additional subject areas we should offer in the future, but there aren't any set to launch soon. You can. What I would recommend is look at the policies for some of the different institutions that you might be considering. You probably have a short list of different institutions that you might consider attending. And what I would recommend doing is looking at the different policies and seeing maybe which one will let you earn the most credits before you enter, but also consider are there particular subject areas that all of them give credit for? Especially when you're looking at a state institution, so a college or university or even a community college, often those institutions will grant this, like I said, in some states, they'll offer the same credit across those different institutions in the state. So you may want to consider waiting until you're more confident of where you'll be going to ensure that they'll grant credit for the exam you're interested in. But also many students do take exams before they're sure where they're going to go. And as I mentioned, in some states that's easier because many colleges in a particular area will all offer credit for the same exams. I would recommend the same thing to him as I would to other students, and that would be to check out the policies at the institutions you're considering to see what they offer. Some institutions will grant credit for certain things, but not others, and some will have different guidelines or requirements in terms of how many credits you can earn, or a lot of colleges, for example, will have a combination. So between CLEP, AP, and other exams, you can only come in with a certain amount of credit. So I would always recommend checking out their policies before you make a decision, regardless of sort of what caliber of institution it is. I'm not sure. I think that they are a little bit more protective at times of their faculty in their own courses, and also they want to ensure that students have the full experience at their college. So again, the policies just vary from institution to institution. Well, I would tell everybody about it. One of the biggest challenges we have is actually getting the word out. And so we've tried a bunch of different things, and I think there's still a little bit of an intimidation factor around exams. So I think one of the things that we're constantly working on is trying to make people aware of CLEP, but also to calm some of the fears about testing and the testing experience in general. One other thing that I think that we're working on and that we would like to improve in the future is just making it easier for students to get to a testing center. So we're constantly encouraging colleges to open testing centers on their campuses if they don't already have one, or encouraging test centers to offer more opportunities for scheduling appointments and things like that. So just making it easier and more widely available for students to actually get to an exam or take an exam. So one of the things that we've considered is just other venues and places where we could administer the exam but still ensure a secure testing environment. Yep, that is something that we've considered. We do not have the technology yet to ensure the security of the exam and also ensure a fair testing experience for everybody, but that is absolutely something that we are considering and thinking about for the future. No, I definitely think it will continue to grow and continue to get more students interested, especially as college costs continue to rise and students want to take more exams. I think the challenging thing is always convincing the colleges and universities that it's a good idea for students to earn credit before they're entering. But we think that that many institutions have seen the value of that and seen that students do complete at a higher rate and do have success when they come in with prior learning credits or with credits through programs like CLEP. We have many CLEP testing centers on military bases, so there may be a testing center on your base already, and if so, all you need to do is contact them. Your educational service officer will have more information about where you can take a CLEP exam. If there's not a testing center on your base, there may be one nearby at another university, and we have on-campus or test centers at other locations, not only in the U.S. but also abroad. So there may be another testing center nearby where you can take an exam. And we also have a program that we refer to as the fully funded program. So when you take an exam on base, you'll never have to pay the administrative fee. But there are also some colleges and other types of testing centers where you can take the exam for free, and also the administrative fee will be waived. And so there's a list on the CLEP website of all of the testing centers that are fully funded, which means they will not charge an administrative fee to any active duty service members. So the Department of Defense, through Dante's, pays for only the active duty service members for most branches. As I mentioned, there are some where civilian employees are also covered, and there are a couple also where spouses are, but that's not typical. So for most of the branches, it is just the active duty service members. So the biggest one will be the Air Force, which is, as I mentioned, coming in October 2017. Yeah, so the Air Force civilian employees, there are about 65,000 that currently do not have college degrees. So it's a big opportunity for all of those folks to consider going back to college and to get a head start with a CLEP exam. Absolutely. So CLEP saves money not only for individuals who are paying their college costs, but also for others who may be paying college costs, such as the Department of Defense. So the military funds not only CLEP testing, but also tuition. And the cost of a CLEP exam is, of course, far lower than the cost of a full college course. So this is a great opportunity not only to help service members and other employees get a head start on their degrees, but also to save the costs on tuition. Yeah, one of the great things about CLEP is that you can take a CLEP exam at any time and at any point in your education career. So there are a number of students who take it in high school or in the time between when they graduate from high school and enroll in college. And the benefit of that really is that you get a jump start on your college degree, so you can start off with a few credits already under your belt and hopefully get through your degree a little bit faster. And what we found, what various research studies have found, is that students who actually earn credits through some type of prior learning opportunity such as CLEP tend to finish their degrees at a higher rate and also more finish on time. Yes, absolutely. So in both 2-year and 4-year degrees, what we found is that students who take CLEP exams and earn credit through CLEP actually finish faster and finish at a higher rate than students who do not earn credit through a CLEP exam. And similar studies have found that this is the case with both CLEP and other types of prior learning.
Where can I look?
Absolutely. Most of your questions can be answered through information on the CLEP website, which again is clep@collegeboard.org, or clep.collegeboard.org. And most of the information,
How do you spell
CLEP is CLEP, so clep.collegeboard.org. And most of the information that you'll need will be available on the website, so there will be things like costs, descriptions of the exams, how to register, where to call to schedule your testing appointments. All of those types of things are available through the website. And if you have other questions, there's also a form you can use to submit them to us, and we'll get them answered for you. If you have questions about the CLEP credit policy at your particular college or university, you will need to contact your university with those types of questions. But most of the questions about the program itself and about some of the logistics or specifics of the program, you can find on the CLEP website. We definitely recommend that you send us an email. We tend to get through those very quickly, so you'll get a response within a couple days, depending on if it's a very high volume time for us or not. We may turn it right around that day. And so we do recommend that you email us or use that form online. But there is also a phone number posted on the website that you can call if you have any questions or concerns or any problems with your registration. Yep, absolutely. And this is a pretty common scenario. So there are many students who start a degree and have to put it on pause for a variety of reasons. It might be a family issue, it might be financial reasons, it might be that you just weren't ready to finish your degree at that time. But there's absolutely always an opportunity to go back. And it's likely that you've done some additional learning since then, or you may have some time in the evenings around when you're not working, and you can take some time to learn the content that you would need to take a CLEP exam and go back and take it now. So that will help you get a little bit closer, if you earn credit for your exam score, you can get a little bit closer to finishing your degree. So it's a great opportunity for adults going back to school, particularly people who need something flexible that they can fit into a busy schedule, and it's easier to learn on your own time. So first of all, I would say it's probably not as scary as you imagine, and it's a pretty low risk opportunity. So there's really, if for some reason you don't earn a passing score, there's no real consequence. So you shouldn't be scared. It's a great, think of this as an opportunity rather than something to be concerned about. But one way to sort of make it seem a little bit less scary is to familiarize yourself with what's on the exam. So you can go to the CLEP website and see all of the outlines for the content of each exam, and you can peruse through and see which seem like the best fit for what you've already learned or what you would be interested in learning. And then you can also see a variety of sample questions for each of the exams, so you can give it a try, see what's on there, and I think you'll find that once you familiarize yourself with what's actually on the exam, it becomes a lot less scary. Yep, absolutely. So you are allowed to retake CLEP exams. You'll have to wait.
Get a second chance?
You'll have to wait 3 months in between retesting, but you can come back 3 months later and test again. So I would recommend that if you do decide to do that, to take the time in between to refresh yourself on the content, to take one of the Modern States courses, to review the additional practice questions on the CLEP website, and just familiarize yourself with what you need to know. So when you come back next time, you'll be more prepared to take the exam. Yeah, absolutely. We often say that CLEP helps you earn credit for what you already know. And we find, though, that sometimes people are a little nervous about whether or not they already know enough to pass a CLEP exam. And what I would recommend is always, even if you do think you know everything, go back and refresh, review the content, relearn some of the things that you may have forgotten between when you took the course in high school and now when you're about to take a CLEP exam. And I think what's really valuable about the Modern States courses is it gives you that opportunity to do it for free. So you can go back, you can refresh on things that you may have already known. You can learn the things that you may not have known. So there's probably some additional material on the CLEP exams that you may have forgotten, or maybe you didn't learn in your high school course or whatever venue you use to learn the content initially. And the courses will give you an opportunity to go back and relearn or learn for the first time some of those content areas. You can take a CLEP exam on your own time, and you just need to schedule it with those college testing centers. So even if no one else in your high school has ever taken a CLEP exam, you can still do so.
You mean I can be the first?
You could be the first. There may be others, and you may just not have known, who have taken CLEP exams at your high school.
CLEP in the closet.
And There may be, there are some places where there are more organized activities to take high school students onto a college campus to take an exam and to visit the campus. And it's also a great opportunity for you to get to go visit a college, to get on a college campus to see what it feels like. So that's a great opportunity, I think, for high school students to both take an exam and potentially get college credit for it, but also get a feel for what it's like to be on a college campus. So even if your high school is not administering CLEP, or even if no one else in your high school is taking CLEP, you still have an opportunity to do it on your own. Yes, this is actually also a pretty common scenario. So students will get towards the end of their degree program and realize they need a few more credits in a particular area, or they need a few more credits in order to graduate on time. And you can take CLEP at any point in your college degree. It's just important that you talk with an advisor at your college to make sure you understand what type of credit you need to fulfill those last few requirements. It may be a particular general education requirement, such as a math requirement, but your college advisor would better be able to help you determine if there is a CLEP exam that would meet those last few credits that you need. There are some states where there are statewide CLEP credit policies. So this takes a few different forms. It could be that there is legislation in the state that requires all public colleges and universities to offer credit for CLEP or offer a particular amount of credit for CLEP exams. And there are other states where a college or university system might just decide on its own to have a system-wide CLEP policy. And we've seen some more states moving in this direction, partly because it makes it easier for students. It helps support students and gives them another opportunity to complete their degrees and to get through on time. And we found that it's also much simpler for students who are transferring. So actually 1 in 3 students transfer at some point in their college degree and in their college program. And so that might be going from a 2-year school to go on to a 4-year school, or transferring within a system from one city to another. And so the statewide credit policies have started to pop up, partly to ensure an easier transition for students as they're moving around within a state. But it's also good for colleges. As I mentioned, the students who earn credit through CLEP typically get through more quickly and finish at a higher rate. Yes, absolutely. So hopefully it's an on-ramp to college. We want to see more and more students taking CLEP exams early on, or even before they enroll in their college degree programs, so they can get a head start into college and be more likely to pursue and to persevere to continue on and finish their degrees. But as I mentioned, it's also an opportunity along the way if students need to pick up a few extra credits, or they need to fulfill a particular gen ed requirement to graduate. It's another tool for colleges to help support students and ensure that they're getting through college and getting through in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, so there are many states that have some variety or some degree of a statewide policy or a system-wide policy. Florida is a state we often point to as very supportive of students and very big on getting students through and giving them opportunities to earn credit through CLEP. There are others, in some states there will be a particular system, like the Cal State system, for example, also has a CLEP system-wide credit policy. So it may be at the state level and it may be at the system level, but we still always recommend that students look at their particular college's policy, because sometimes there might be a few caveats even when there is a statewide policy. Individual campuses may have some caveats about how much credit can be brought in, or which specific course at that university the credit would be good for. My name is Emily Paulsen, and I am the Executive Director for the College Level Examination Program. That's the CLEP program here at the College Board. So I manage sort of all aspects of the CLEP program, from the development of the exams to the delivery processes to any new supporting materials that we develop or any new policies that we put in place to better support students. So of course I don't do all of this on my own. I have a great team here at the College Board and also outside in the field, and it's the whole team here that supports the CLEP program, but I am the program manager for CLEP. Yeah, I think there's a great opportunity for CLEP to support more students and to support students in a different way from what a lot of our programs currently do. So the College Board's mission, as I mentioned, is to connect students to college opportunity and success. And we always want to see students go through a traditional path and get to college on right out of high school to pursue their degrees, to complete and to go on to their careers. But there are also many other ways, many other paths that students take to earning a college degree. And CLEP is sort of unique in the fact that it can support all different types of students. And what I'd really like for us to do with the CLEP program is to really expand that out and help more students complete their degrees, return to college to pursue degrees. I know many people, and I'm sure you do as well, who may not have gone directly to college after high school. Maybe they went into the military, or they took a job to help support their family. Or maybe they went to college part-time and worked part-time as well. And I think what's unique about CLEP is that it can help all of those students and all those different types of college degree earners. So what I'm hoping we can do more of in the future is to continue to bring more people into the college fold and to give them an on-ramp to college, as Modern States describes it, an easier path in, a first step so that they know it's something they can achieve, and hopefully then we can support both the College Board goals and the country's goals of getting more students through and earning a college credential.